Welcome to We Are Venomaniacs, the Venom Site's official podcast for all of your symbiote news, reviews, and point of views. My name is Orion, and today I'm joined by Carlos.
Yo!
Tyler.
Hello!
And Aaron.
Hello!
We are celebrating Symbiote September this month with a special giveaway for our loyal live listeners, and you can just join our live recordings on Discord each Wednesday through September 25th and listen in until the end of each episode. I will drop a special keyword sometime during today's episode, which one of our selected live audience members will need to repeat to win a Jada Toys diecast Venom figure. So stay tuned to win. It's week 7 of our Absolute Carnage podcast series, in which we cover the event's latest comics and tie-ins. Today, we're doing a rapid-fire review of Absolute Carnage number 3 and Absolute Carnage Lethal Protectors number 2. We will begin with the big one for today, which is Absolute Carnage number 3. And any first thoughts on that?
Yeah, this issue was actually really good. Again, as always, Ryan Stegman, he's always just doing a really fantastic job on the artwork. I thought this issue opened up a lot of eye-openers and, some shocking developments with the Venom symbiote. You also got to see Dylan again, and a certain Avocado Boy, which we will get to soon. But yeah, no, all the artwork was great, and the story was kind of half good and half kind of, just kind of questionable at times. So
it was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say it's pretty good. I don't think it was quite as action-packed as the last couple of issues. We have a little bit of action towards the beginning, and then it kind of lulls for a little bit. So the pacing kind of slowed down a little bit with this issue, but overall, still a fantastic read. Donnie and Ryan still hitting all the marks, so it's pretty good. Like Carlos said, we get some returns to this main book, where we were only having characters showing up in the Venom series. So we have Dylan and Sleeper returning. So that was pretty good.
Sleeper cat.
How are you missing?
Yeah, and if you're confused about how Sleeper became a cat, so are we. Apparently that happens in the next Venom issue, number 19, which I think comes out in another 2 weeks. So we're going to have to wait to see how that happened.
Yeah. And for me, overall, I'd agree that there is a bit of a lull this issue. It starts up picking right off where, Eddie's running away, Eddie's like freaking out, Miles getting taken over, the excitement's all there, and then it's sort of just, he just takes Scorpion and runs after a little bit of contention with Norman and whatnot. And for most of the issue, it's sort of just like, oh, it's just people talking. And that's pretty much it until the very end. And so overall, I still did like the issue, but it's definitely not, especially in comparison to especially the first issue, it's definitely not quite as good as that.
Yeah, so I enjoyed this issue, but I'm going to be one of those folks that say that I'm kind of getting worried about how this series is going to go, because from the last 2 issues, not a whole lot has happened. Because the first issue was amazing, and we had all these amazing scenes and all this amazing art, and the last 2 issues, not a whole lot has happened. There was some pretty cool moments in this one, but I'm kind of worried because, the series was supposed to end in the next issue on 4, but then they expanded it to 5, and I'm just not too sure where it's going to go from here, and I'm kind of worried. I and some other folks might have kind of overhyped it, but I guess we will hit that point in a few minutes.
Not to mention, issue 4 has gotten delayed as well, so it kind of raises more questions too. So
yeah, I would say like this issue kind of made me realize why it was expanded to issue 5, because I just can't see how they would have wrapped up the entire storyline on issue 4. So we're discussing spoilers here, so this issue ends with the Venom symbiote kind of ditching Eddie to bond with the Hulk.
So yes, and that's the first time we actually see the Hulk with a symbiote, which is Pretty cool.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I need to touch up on is that Venom is starting to show resilience towards Eddie, where he's now desperate to kill Carnage, Norman, well, Cletus and Norman, I guess both. But and also at the same time, even in the beginning of the issue, we didn't really see a whole lot of Zombiote. Miles, he was only there for like maybe a couple of panels and he just disappears, which I guess they're gonna save him for his tie-in issues. So I was kind of a little bummed out by that too. But here you can see that the Venom symbiote is very desperate in this situation, and he's just not going to be taking no for an answer from Eddie.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. That was another downside I had with the issue. Is just Venom kind of the symbiote seems to be flip flopping a bit, and it's a little confusing consistency wise. And so it's just like, all right, now let's kill Miles, let's kill Norman, it's kind of weird. And then it's like, especially since it just got back to Eddie, like, it's like, Eddie, we're here to protect you and whatnot in the first issue. It's like, we're here for you. But now it's just, that's sort of like, sorry, gotta protect my kid. It's a little weird.
So it still thinks it can save him by killing, the people that he's trying to save, which kind of shows that the symbiote maybe has not yet grown just yet, or I don't know, like maybe he is just scared, but it is kind of weird. And we also said that that it's kind of weird that Eddie is trying to save Norman when he was trying to murder him in the last issue. But I guess we can say that Spider-Man kind of got through to him, and we haven't seen him kill these folks just yet. So maybe he just kind of had a change of heart, maybe, and is trying to save people instead of kill him. But he did save. He did save Mac, but that's probably just because he had a codex. So
yeah. And speaking of confusion, I know this was pointed out, I believe, in Carnage Born, but a new sort of history for Cletus Cassidy was revealed in Carnage Born, and I had actually asked Donnie about that at one point at a convention, and he did kind of confirmed that when Tanis Neves, who was Scorn, was delivering that whole spiel about how Cletus Cassidy was born in an asylum, that that whole origin was meant to be thrown into question because it was being delivered by an unreliable narrator. Now in this issue, we have that origin being retold from the horse's mouth, from Cletus Cassidy. However, on Twitter today, someone had asked, or actually it was a Bleeding Cool article, I believe, that was pointing out that this was a new origin for Cletus Cassidy, and Donnie retweeted it to reply that no, it isn't. If they had been reading, this is again a case of unreliable narrator. Now that's a bit confusing to me, because if Carnage is repeating this whole story, you think this is the real story.
Yeah, there is a lot of things that we've brought into question, and I almost feel like we're too focused on these small things, because I think half the folks that are trying to read this are just trying to read like a good story. But we're over here like, but why does the symbiote say that's its spawn, but you said that that's actually not Carnage and it's the Grendel symbiote, and but how can he pass down a codex and all this other stuff? Yes, it doesn't make sense, and I would agree, but at the same time, it's just comics, and I don't think we should be focusing too much on it, but at the same time, I do understand why there is confusion. I'm still confused about where the actual Carnage symbiote is, if it's on Norman or if it's not on Norman. But, man, I don't know, guys. Just calm down, please.
See, this is comic book fans, as a whole.
Yes.
This is what we do.
Yes.
Calm
down.
Endless debate every time.
Yeah, that's why. That's why Marvel came up with the no prize thing, though. Let the fans figure it out.
Yeah. So the bottom line is, I think let's not read too much into every little detail. We don't really want to get caught up with the nitpicking that kind of drags you away from the story in general. The point of the story is, of course, to enjoy it and to take
and
what you will from it. Yeah, buy more variants, definitely. It's hundreds and hundreds of variants.
but I'll absolutely say the whole Immortal Hulk joining with the Venom symbiote, I'm pretty hyped for that. Like, it's Immortal Hulk by Ewing is another fantastic ongoing at Marvel right now. One of the best books along with Venom and ASM, I would say.
Now,
and so I'm extremely excited to see, like, I believe it's going to be Devil Hulk interacting with the symbiote.
Now,
so it's pure fan service, and I'm down for it.
I don't know if it goes that far in this book. It is pretty cool to see because folks have said for a while now that the best things out now are Hulk and Venom, and now we have these two as one, which is pretty cool. I don't think this is going to be the focus on the one-shot Hulk issue, but it's still pretty cool to see. Yeah, right. Yeah, so like, I mean, it's still cool. I don't think it's going to last a whole lot for a while. I'm not entirely sure why this was thrown in. It's kind of weird seeing Bruce Banner, tied into this Venom thing, and
he just came out of nowhere.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird, but it is also cool at the same time. But but I'll accept it because my father is a huge Hulk fan, and I'm of course a huge fan of Venom. So like, this was really, it's pretty cool to see, but it's kind of weird. But
yeah.
Well,
and
regarding Bruce, I think that's going to happen in the Immortal Hulk tie-in, where it's going to be like Bruce deals with Ross and Betty is what they're doing, and then at the end of that, he's going to join with the Avengers and then show up here. And that is one other complaint I'd like to make. The release order of this series is extremely weird. It's all over the place. Like, you have the Deadpool versus Carnage versus Deadpool spoiling Lethal Protectors #1, and now this happens, and now Venom isn't out yet, but that's already happened, and it's like, it's really, and then Symbiote of Vengeance, which takes place way before any of this event even starts. So it's really weird, the release order they decided to go with.
Yeah, now, I wanted to make a point, for those listeners who don't really read, Immortal Hulk, as I don't either, maybe give us a little bit of, someone give us a bit of review of what Immortal Hulk is all about, like what's so special about this Devil Hulk and everything.
He's edgy, and he's the Hulk, and he smashes things.
It's just, the Hulk has a bunch of different personalities. There's like Joe Fixit, and there's like the classic Savage Hulk, and there's the World Breaker. So the Devil Hulk is just another like particularly pretty evil personality that does actually care for Bruce. So
I'm completely out of the loop, so I really wouldn't be able to catch up.
Read it. You should read Hulk.
Yeah, just read like it. So, like, read it. If not for just the art, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there was one thing of consequence to talk about, and that's that Carnage once again pulled the rug out from under everybody and disguised himself as Eddie Brock and infiltrated their base. Yeah. And of course, Spider-Man spoiled a little something to him.
The moment he smiled, I knew it was Cletus. I knew it was him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, like Spider-Man. Spider-Man of all people spoiled it for Eddie.
Right. So like last month, I think Ryan posted the picture of him smiling. I was like, wait a minute, that does look like Eddie. Why does that look kind of weird? And then this issue, it's Cletus. This guy's
and then you notice he doesn't have the little eye scar he has right now.
Yeah. So and why does he still have that? I don't know why he still has that. But,
I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why Eddie still isn't bleeding from his nose.
Oh, right. First 6 issues, he's bleeding from his nose.
That whole little sequence, like, not only does Cletus now know that that's Eddie's kid, but also the fact that he now knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Like, that had always
Eddie
been a thing.
Tells him Peter. He doesn't say Spider-Man. He just yells out Peter. Like,
yeah, like, that's always been a bit of a thing. Like, shouldn't Carnage have known since, like, it bonded to Ben Reilly and whatnot? And then it bonded to, like, Norman and stuff. But I kind of like that he's saying, Carnage now knows Peter is Peter. And so Peter's probably feeling pretty glad MJ's out of New York right now.
Right, yeah. But yes, but Eddie is also kind of a mean boy in this issue. He doesn't tell Peter about Miles, and I bet he didn't say that on purpose, because then he'd get mad at him. And then he doesn't tell Peter that the thing about the symbiotes isn't his fault, and like he just says, "Oh well, I still need him for backup, so I'll just tell him later." So
I like that. I like that a lot.
I don't know. He's a little mean for some reason. I don't know why he's being mean.
I like that. That's just his old grudge with Spidey talk, and I thought that was cute. Like the symbiote was trying to say, like, tell him it's not his fault. The symbiote was trying to be nice to Spider-Man, and he's like, "Yeah, you're right."
Yeah, being a mean boy.
So overall, it was kind of middle of the road, I think, issue. It was still beautiful art by Ryan and still pretty good storytelling, but like we said, it's a bit of a lull right now. Yeah, it was.
We just have high standards because we are shills through and through. So high standards.
All right, so let's move on to our next discussion topic, which is Absolute Carnage Lethal Protectors #2. Finally, the Lethal Protectors are coming together. 2 issues
they
into
actually show up in the book.
And I thought they were going to be doing that last issue.
Now, I like a lot of the throwbacks that were in this issue. Morbius mentioning, we haven't had these guys around. We haven't gathered like this since the last time this maniac took over the city. It's like, oh, referencing Maximum Carnage. That's great. I love that.
Yep. Yeah. The only thing I really like about this issue is Shriek and Carnage. I don't really care for all the other characters, but I like how.
Don't you mean Demogoblin?
Right. Right. I apologize. Demogoblin, right? And I like how Carnage says that I love that girl. That's good. I like that wholesome content.
Yeah,
wholesome, right?
Wholesome content, but I don't really care for the Protectors.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. We get a little bit of taste of the Carnage family. And by the way, loyal listeners, today's keyword is family. So remember that it is family.
Family comes first.
Yep. So
it's about family.
It was definitely a fun issue. It's kind of
she's the key to all of this. Misty Knight is the key to all of this.
Yeah.
Thank you for getting that, Aaron.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I would say it's a little disappointing that it took the second issue in a 3-part series to finally get the team together, and it just ends with them coming together. So that means everything has to be resolved in the third issue. This should have been the end of the first issue. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I feel like you easily could have condensed these into one issue, so it feels like a lot of this book was just more setup. And it's like, do we really need more setup for a 3-issue series?
That's exactly what I got. To me, this was just kind of like, okay, well, they're getting the gang back together. Misty Knight is trying to figure out a way to get out of the sewer, not to get killed. And and also too, Deathlock shows up.
A different Deathlock, though.
It's the new Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. synergy Deathlock, except he looks like normal Deathlock now. So
and I have no idea what
that's what that was.
But yeah. I will say it is kind of a bummer that these characters aren't in the main series. I'd like to see a lot of these guys show up, but I think they're kind of just wasted in this, and I don't entirely see why we need this tie-in. And I'm kind of questioning all of the others too, why we need those tie-ins. But I mean, I guess I enjoyed a few scenes. I like how Misty is hiding in one of the corpses, like in The Walking Dead or something, just walking around the sewers. And I like the little shot where they look inside the sewer and there's just hundreds of them right there, right underneath the city.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Sweet Christmas.
Right. Oh yeah. But besides that, I didn't really care for another setup, and I also liked how they put police tape on the manhole. Just say don't go in there.
Yeah.
3 cones and police tape. Don't go in there. Yeah.
They put something on top of it, didn't they? Like some weird heavy weight thing.
I guess, but still, it's just police tape and 3 little cones.
The kids were very like calm about it. They're like, "Is that a goldfish or something?" Like,
yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I would say like poor John Jameson Manwolf is getting the broad end of the stick on this one. It's like he's almost getting killed by Carnage because of his incompetence to bring in Misty Knight. Wonder what's going to happen to him at the end, because as she said in the first issue, John, you're going to regret everything once this is all done.
Yeah, he sort of seems like he's replacing Doppelganger. You know, he's like kind of like the pet, dog. And I wonder where he went off to.
Well, I think Doppelganger is taking care of Deadpool.
Yeah.
Is he?
I think so.
Is he? Oh, well.
We see him mostly in the Deadpool issues.
We might see him in the Miles issue as well, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it is interesting seeing James in this. It is pretty interesting because, we've seen him a few times. He was the second host of Carnage, I think, like way back in the 90s. And then he was in the series by Jerry Conway, and like this one's pretty good.
Oh, you know what?
I like how he's being involved.
You know what? I figured it out. I now know why there's a 5th issue to Absolute Carnage, because we couldn't make Dark Carnage the ultimate bad guy. It has to be Doppelganger.
Has to be Doppelganger.
Yep.
He speaks in like fluent sentences and just rules the entire. He just kills Cletus and just rules over the whole city after that.
We all thought it was going to be Null or Carnage in the end. Nope, Doppelganger.
Null is Doppelganger.
It is Doppelganger. Yeah.
Doppelganger is Doppel Army.
Born from darkness, from the Infinity Gems, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that's going to happen, yeah.
Yeah.
So, see how boring this issue is? How we got kind of off track so much?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was too boring, but it was just...
just nothing's happening, though.
Yeah, because like what happened in the issue? You had Misty Knight getting chased by Demogoblin and Manwolf, and then Iron Fist gets the crew together. That's literally all that happens.
So yes, I still enjoy it though, because I like seeing a few of the interactions, but for the most part, I don't know why.
Familiar faces.
Condensed. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, as a Cloak and Dagger fan, I gotta say, Cloak is sporting a fancy new beard. Kind of pointy.
Yeah.
One little note, just I know covers lie and all that, but I'm disappointed Mania wasn't in Absolute Carnage number 3.
Mania. Okay,
what the hell, Ryan? What the hell, Donnie?
Right now, Scorn is dead. Mania is dead. They're not coming back.
No, you don't get to say that. You don't know that, Aaron.
No.
Agent Venom as well. He's dead.
Andy is Scream.
But still, I'm just saying, we had Mania, Scream, and Black Cat on the cover. They were not in the book. So,
who cares about Black Cat?
Hey, excuse you, Aaron.
Who cares about Black Cat?
Yeah, excuse me, Aaron. Weren't you the one who were? Weren't you pairing them at one point?
I was, but now she's marrying Spider-Man for laughs, and it's just a knockoff. She's just another Catwoman knockoff. That's all she is now. That's all she is now.
Wow.
Begone thought, says Aaron.
She only exists so J. Scott Campbell could draw her. That's the only reason she exists now. Only reason. Only for J. Scott Campbell covers.
Yeah. All right. Well, like I said, I think that's a good place to put a pin in today's episode. Listen in next week as we review Amazing Spider-Man number 30, which is an Absolute Carnage tie-in, as well as Absolute Carnage Miles Morales number 2. You can listen to We Are Venomaniacs on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Music and iTunes, Google Play Music, and YouTube. You can also find us on Twitter at WAV_podcast. Check out our Discord server and become a member of the audience during our next live recording of We Are Venomaniacs. And just so you guys know, our next recording on September 25th will be the last one where we will have a giveaway. We have one more Agent Venom Pop to give away, so make sure you tune in. Join us, won't you? As always, thanks to my fellow hosts, Carlos, Tyler, and Aaron, for joining me today.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to this train wreck. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good old Aaron.
Yeah. And thanks to the Venom site for permitting us to make this podcast under the TVS banner and all of your generous support. And finally, thank you, loyal listeners and fellow Venomaniacs. You guys make an awesome community, and it's an honor to be your voice on the airwaves. Together, we are Venomaniacs. And now, a word from one of our partners at The Collective, a network of superhero podcasts.
Hey, Ray.
Yes, Connor?
What's black and white and red all over?
A newspaper?
Not even close.
Sunburnt zebra?
What are you doing, Ray? Not even close.
Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. A weekly podcast coming to you from the High Priest of Khonshu. Available on all good podcast catchers.